everybody, bom dia, good morning. Welcome back to Ready for Brazil. Today in our lesson we're going to talk about expressing your current condition. Examples, you're hungry, you're tired, you're happy, you're sad. So how do you say how you feel? Okay, so it's very simple, so let's get to it. So just like some of the other things that we learned, there's a very simple formula to follow if you want to say these things. So typically involves pronoun, like in the other cases, and a conjugated to star verb. In this case, we just add the adjective, right? So, for example, I am goes to eu estou, right? If you wanted to say you are, you can say você está, right? And then we have nós and eles, ele, all that, right? So, that's a conjugated star, that's a conjugated estar. Now we just need an adjective, right? So let's do happy. Feliz, right? Eu estou feliz. Você está feliz. I am happy. You are happy. Very simple formula. Let's do one more example. Nós estamos triste. We are sad, right? So, pronoun, conjugated star, adjective. Very simple formula. Okay, so let's learn some other words. So, of course, when you do go to Brazil, you're going to need to learn how to say you're hungry, right? Thirsty, all that, right? So, besides just simple adjectives, happy, sad, tired, all that, let's learn how to actually say how we feel with regards to something that we want to accomplish, an action. So, you're hungry. So you want to say you're hungry so you can get something to eat, right? So, in this case, eu estou doesn't go there. Eu estou com fome. I am very similar formula. Now, the formula on the previous slide was for just a simple adjective, right? I'm happy, right? For I'm hungry, there's one little modification to that formula, and it's just you're adding this word com, which is with, right? Right? So, eu estou com fome. I am with hunger, right? From thirsty, eu estou com sede, right? I am with thirst, okay? Of course, I'm just using I am, eu estou as the example, but of course you can certainly use você está, nós estamos, eles estão, right? Of course. And then for I'm happy, notice the difference. I think I used this example on the previous slide. Eu estou feliz. So if you notice that the majority of the time you'll just use pronoun, estar, and the adjective. However, in the cases of hunger and thirst, for example, you just have to add this, the with, right? So, just to review, majority of the time, it is pronoun, conjugated star, adjective, or pronoun, conjugated star, with, and then the adjective, how you feel, right? Pretty simple, so let's move on. So let's learn some adjectives that we can use with this formula, right? So we know happy, sad, tired, animado is like happy, enthusiastic, you're animated, it's a good one. So all of these will just use eu estou and then the adjective, right? But there are some other examples, and I'll explain why grammatically, that you have to use ser. So let's have an example here. Eu sou alto. So this means tall, right? So going back to what we know about the verb ser and estar, why would I use the verb ser, eu sou, here in this case, eu sou alto? Well, the answer is because if you're tall, you always are tall. That is not a current condition. Understand? If you are tall, you are a tall person. That is part of you. That is your characteristic. So ser right, is the to be verb for a permanent condition or a bodily characteristic, I guess you can say. Estar is more temporary, right? More or less permanent for ser, okay? So for all of these, we can say estar, eu estou feliz, eu estou triste, I'm happy and I'm sad. Because, you're not always happy 100% of the time, you're not always sad 100% of the time. But if you're tall, that's who you are, right? So I'll give you some other ones. Baixo would be short, right? And then you could also have, let's do velho, jovem, right? So for these, I would use ser. Velho is old, jovem is young. I would use estar for those because, you're not always old because at one point you were young, right? So I'd probably use estar for that one. Let's do skinny and fat. So magro, gordo. I would use estar for those because you're not always skinny. You don't have to always be skinny, right? And let's do some more. So how about this? So these are for skin color. Branco is white, negro would be black, right? You could also have moreno, right, which would be like a tan or brown, I guess you can say, right? So majority of Brazilians would probably classify themselves as moreno, right? So for those who would use eu sou, right, because that is not something that changes. Skin color doesn't really change. That's that's what you are. That is how you are. So so hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I know it can be confusing, but that's why I'm here. I hope that's why I'm here to help you guys out. So just remember, some adjectives are estar because they're temporary, right? Happy, sad, tired, excited, that kind of thing. You're not always those things, right? But other things like your skin color or how tall you are, how short you are, those are permanent things. Those are characteristics about you, right? So that would be ser. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you learned something. Have a nice day. Take care.